As his womanizing habit spirals out of control, a limo driver decides to introspect and reevaluate his promiscuous lifestyle. In the heart of Manhattan, a charismatic British womanizer named Alfie awakens on his bed. However, he implies that he rarely sleeps in it because he's always out of his apartment to spend intimate time with different women. After taking his vitamins, Alfie shares his intriguing theory. Most women prioritize a man's ability to provide and his personality over six-pack abs. However, he boldly asserts that men tend to focus on a woman's beauty and physique. As the charming man prepares for the day as a Cockney limousine driver, he dons a suit and applies cologne below his neck. Before stepping out his apartment door, he reviews his word of the day, ostentatious, signifying an attempt to attract attention to oneself. In the hallway, he subtly flirts with his older neighbor Mrs. Schnittman, who kindly tidies his apartment because of her fondness for him. Following this, the bachelor embarks on his journey to his limousine office with style and flair, zipping through the streets on his trusty moped. After his shift, Alfie uses the luxurious car to spend intimate time with one of his clients, Dory, an unhappy wife. After cuddling, the charismatic man returns to the wheel to reach his passenger's destination. While the charming man drives, the promiscuous woman discreetly slips her red undergarments into his coat pocket. Shortly after, he drops her off at the pier where she plans to meet her husband Phil. As they bid farewell, the married woman expresses excitement about seeing him again. However, the bachelor explains that he'll be unavailable for the next week and assures her that he will call when his schedule allows. Afterward, Alfie visits Julie, a single mother who is somewhat his casual girlfriend. Although she longs to spend intimate time with him, the bachelor fakes his exhaustion, not revealing that he has been with another woman before her. To make it up to his partner, he promises to be intimate with her in the morning, as he intends to spend the night in her place. When the parent inquires about his previous whereabouts, the charming chauffeur skillfully changes the subject and compliments her cooking. While she prepares his meal, he secretly disposes of Dory's undergarment in the kitchen trash bin. Shortly after Julie serves him his food, the couple gets into a heated argument over him suddenly addressing her as babe. Their raised voices wake up Max, Julie's son, whom the driver finds irresistibly cute. The following day at work, Alfie warmly greets his best friend and future business partner Marlon, who sits on the staircase outside their office sipping black coffee. It turns out that the man is still devastated over his recent breakup with Lonette, his waitress ex-girlfriend. As the charming bachelor comforts his pal, the broken-hearted worker shares his recent experience. He admits that he went to his ex-lover's front door at 3, hoping to win her back. However, she turned him down despite his efforts, leaving him defeated. Later, their boss Wing arrives in the office parking lot and instructs his employees to clean the limousines thoroughly. Suddenly, their superior's wife Blossom appears in the area to attend to her working husband. As the charming man observes the businessman speaking rudely to his partner, he points out that such behavior reinforces his cynicism about marriage and commitment. That night, Alfie and Marlon head to the bar to discuss their future business venture. However, the womanizer's co-worker is preoccupied and pays little attention to the conversation. His eyes are fixed on Lonette, who works as a waitress there. The heartbroken man thinks about reuniting with his ex-lover, regretting his decision that he had broken up with her. It turns out that they ended things because his former girlfriend wanted to pursue a family life while he wished to wait for a few more months. Suddenly, Carol interrupts their conversation and enthusiastically greets the charismatic Alfie, who seems to have forgotten who she is. Despite her desire to engage with him, the driver abruptly bids her goodbye. He then confides in his best friend that the woman is only suitable for a one-night casual encounter. Shortly after, Lonette arrives to serve their drinks, noticeably handing the bottle to her ex-boyfriend with a hint of aggression, suggesting that she's still upset with him. After this, Alfie heads to Julie's house to spend time with her. However, she refuses to let him in because she found Dory's undergarments in the trash can. This revelation prompts the single mom to end their relationship finally. As a result, the lonely chauffeur returns to the bar and talks to Lonette. He then urges her to forgive Marlon, hoping they get back together. However, their conversation takes a different turn, and they end up playing billiards, drinking, and spending intimate time together. The following day, Alfie feels guilty after sleeping with his best pal's former girlfriend. As the womanizer attempts to avoid him, his colleague confronts him about his actions regarding Lonette, as she suddenly showed up last night at his house to get back together with him. Upon learning this, the charismatic man suddenly feels relieved, believing that he played a role in helping the couple reunite through his intervention. However, he quickly feels awkward when his coworker invites him to be the best man for his wedding. Following this, Alfie heads to Max's birthday celebration, hoping to patch things up with Julie. However, upon arriving, he changes his mind when he sees his casual girlfriend with her estranged husband. As a result, the driver attempts to move on from the single mom and starts meeting other women at a nightclub. However, his casual encounters fail due to his body dysfunction, prompting him to seek medical advice by visiting a doctor. During his appointment with Dr. Miranda, Alfie learns that his impotence was stress-related due to his situation with Julie, who doesn't want to see him anymore. However, just as he begins to feel relief, the physician mentions that they found a lump on his private part, prompting him to undergo a biopsy. After his medical procedure, the bachelor returns to his apartment and finds Lonette waiting for him. She reveals that she is pregnant with his child. To keep their betrayal from Marlon, he uses the limousine to accompany the woman to a clinic so she can get rid of their baby. While waiting for his friend, Alfie feels the weight of his actions and deeply regrets, knowing he has another child he will never meet. He becomes aware that if the child were born with all white features, it would reveal the truth to his best friend. After a few minutes, the bachelor rushes to Lonette upon seeing her exit the clinic. However, the woman looks disturbed and cannot look him in the eye. She then shares that she feels empty after the procedure. Concerned, the chauffeur helps her get into the limousine to provide support. Afterward, Alfie heads to the hospital for his biopsy results. As he waits anxiously, he reflects on his womanizing lifestyle and feels remorse. Realizing the consequences of his actions, he resolves to make a positive change for the better to get his life together. While in the restroom, the charming driver meets an old man named Joe who opens up about his loss. The old man's wife has passed away, and he shares that he attempted to move on by taking a vacation alone, but he couldn't get his deceased partner off his mind. After narrating his story, the senior citizen offers heartfelt advice to the bachelor. He encourages him to find someone to love and to live each day as if it were his last. In a friendly gesture, the old man hands him his calling card, suggesting they keep in touch if the driver ever wants to reach out. Following this uplifting encounter with Joe, Alfie receives his biopsy results. Upon getting the great news that he's cancer-free, he can't contain his joy and celebrates in the streets. This transformative experience sparks a commitment to change his lifestyle. He becomes health-conscious, incorporating nutritious smoothies into his routine. Additionally, he resolves to aim higher in his romantic adventures, seeking more meaningful and fulfilling relationships. During his shift, the limousine driver takes his beautiful passenger Liz and her companion to a luxury store. Despite waiting for them outside, the driver goes inside the boutique and subtly flirts with the older wealthy woman while she fits on some tight clothes. After dropping them off at their hotel, Alfie takes the opportunity to give his calling card to the mesmerizing client, hoping that she will avail of his services again in the future. When the limousine driver returns to the office parking lot, he sees his anxious superior, panicking because they only have a few drivers for the busy season. It turns out that Marlon had quit because he and Lonette decided to move upstate together. Alfie then reads Marlon's letter for him. In the heartfelt message, his former colleague refers to him as his best friend and apologizes for backing out of their business venture. The ex-employee reveals that he wants to focus on his relationship with Lonette and extends an invitation for the bachelor to visit anytime. While driving on Christmas Eve night, Alfie contemplates the sadness of spending the holidays without a romantic partner. He firmly believes couples shouldn't split between Thanksgiving and January 2nd, as this period is when lovers spend time together. When the bachelor is about to lose hope, he has a fateful encounter with the beautiful Nikki, who books him for a ride with her friends. He is immediately drawn to her and accepts when she offers him a sip of an illegal substance. Shortly after this encounter, they become an inseparable and happy couple. Eventually, they take the next step and move in together, embarking on a new life chapter. However, on New Year's Day, Alfie realizes that his new girlfriend is emotionally unstable and experiences severe mood swings when she is off her medication. Despite the initial joyful moments, they begin to have frequent arguments. Additionally, Nikki's excessive drinking leads to vehicular accidents, causing further concern for their relationship. Before leaving for work one morning, the bachelor refuses his girlfriend's advances, using the excuse of a meeting. However, it turns out that he will be spending intimate time with Liz in her condotel, revealing that he has returned to his womanizing tendencies. Following this, Alfie returns home and finds Nikki sleeping on the couch with a television on. When he turns it off, his partner suddenly wakes up and commits to becoming mentally better by taking her medications religiously. She expresses her determination to work on her issues and seek support from her boyfriend. Despite her commitment to improvement, the stressed out distraught driver implies that he wants to end their relationship. This painful decision prompts the beautiful woman to pack her things and leave her partner. After the breakup, Alfie begins to miss the companionship. As he reflects further, he realizes he has feelings for Julie and suddenly wants to get back with her. Later, the bachelor drives to the city and finds his former girlfriend alone at a restaurant. He seizes the opportunity to apologize and ask for another chance. However, just as he does so, his ex's new boyfriend Adam unexpectedly arrives, leading the bachelor to step back and bid them goodbye. Afterward, the lonely driver returns to the office to pick up the limousine. To his surprise, he finds his boss crying because his wife has left him. To comfort his superior, the charismatic man offers advice on winning her back, suggesting he sends her flowers or write her a heartfelt poem. The superior approves of the idea and tosses the keys to the limousine to his employee, who appreciates his support. Shortly after, Alfie uses the vehicle to drive upstate to see his old friends. However, upon reaching their house, he finds only Lonette there because Marlon is out doing groceries. The driver takes the opportunity to apologize for his past actions and expresses his desire to put everything behind them. Suddenly, he hears an infant's cry from inside the house, raising curiosity and intrigue. The charismatic man seizes the moment to go inside and see the baby, who turns out to be his. Lonette then reveals that she didn't get rid of their child and finally informed her husband of the truth about the situation. Surprisingly, despite learning that he was not the birth father, Marlon forgave her and chose to stay with her, showing an incredible display of understanding and love. Before Alfie leaves their property, his best friend suddenly arrives. Full of regret, the bachelor explains that he never meant to hurt anybody. However, his tearful old pal looks at him resentfully, implying that the damage has already been done. Without hesitation, the betrayed man walks past his former best pal, indicating that he has given up on their friendship. As he drives back to town, the former womanizer is overwhelmed with emotions and bursts into tears, finally realizing the consequences of his old lifestyle. Out of frustration and regret, he bangs the windshield in a moment of intense emotion, accidentally cracking it. With no friends to confide in, Alfie seeks solace in Joe, the old man he met in the clinic. As they walk on the beach, the bachelor opens up about his grief over losing his best friend due to his mistakes. After he shares his remorse and the burden of his actions, the wise senior acknowledges the womanizer's errors and encourages him to get his life back together. With a fresher mindset and newfound determination, the bachelor heads to a flower shop to pick a unique and thoughtful bouquet for Liz. With the help of a florist, he carefully selects the buds, hoping this gesture will convince the older woman that he wants something more than a casual relationship. Upon reaching the condotel, the chauffeur warmly embraces Liz and invites her for a trip outside the city. However, the older woman politely declines, explaining that she has a meeting and suggesting they reschedule the trip for a weekend. After presenting her with a beautiful bouquet, Alfie hints that he wants to say something important to her next time. When Liz mentions that the flowers made her evening, the man considers changing his mind and staying for the night. However, the woman interrupts him, stating it's not a good idea. Sensing her hesitation, the driver begins to suspect that she is seeing someone else. Fueled by his emotions, he rushes to the bedroom, where his suspicions are confirmed. The bachelor confronts Liz, seeking to understand what makes her new man better than him. When the older woman reveals that her latest partner is younger, the driver feels offended and hurt by the revelation. The disappointment leads him to leave, unable to bear the disclosure of being replaced by someone else in her life. After leaving the condotel, Alfie goes to the pier and throws the bouquet into the river. In this moment of emotional turmoil, he admits that he had let his guard down for the older woman, but her actions deeply hurt him. Suddenly spotting Dory nearby, the bachelor feels hopeful, and he approaches her with a desire to reconcile. He apologizes sincerely for not calling her, citing the overwhelming events in his life as the reason for his absence. However, the teary-eyed woman dismisses his excuse, indicating it's too late for them to rekindle their relationship. She wishes him luck, but her heartache is evident as she walks away, leaving the charming man to grapple with the consequences of his past actions and missed opportunities. As a result of the rejection, Alfie reflects on his womanizing lifestyle. He recalls how he often warned his multiple partners that he was not ready to marry or commit to a serious relationship. He then thinks about his past connections, and it dawns upon him, while the women invested a lot in the relationships, he had given little in return. This realization brings a sense of regret and remorse as he understands the extent of his selfishness and its impact on those he was involved with. Amid his carefree lifestyle, Alfie acknowledges the freedom of not being tied down to anyone and the self-sufficiency of not relying on others. However, beneath this facade, he grapples with a troubling truth. He lacks true peace of mind, leaving him feeling empty as if he has nothing. Realizing this, he aspires to seek answers to his inner dilemma.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.